Welcome back to Kayfabe and Cardboard, where storylines meet scarcity. I'm Aiden, 16-year-old from Solon, Ohio, with my dad, Adam, 50-year-old from also Solon, Ohio. So, today, before we talk predictions and market moves in the next episode, today we're going to actually call it a celebration of the hobby, both soccer cards and wrestling cards, just to give some special shout-outs to the people that built the lanes that we walk in, and just want to give some special shout outs to people who make the hobby as it is. Right now, there's a lot of shining light on people who have just been bad in the hobby, stealing, doing all sorts of things that just put a negative light on the card hobby. But today, we're going to share some of our personal experiences with some of these people in the hobby, and just give some shout outs to people who are doing great work in making the card hobby trying to make the card hobby a fun, positive place for a bunch of people. So first, how are you doing today, Adam?
I'm doing well. I'm excited for another number 2 in the podcast that we're putting together. You did a great job on the first one. Excited to see where you take this.
Yeah, thank you. Alrighty, let's get right into this. And we are going to start by just giving you a quick SmackDown rundown from what happened last Friday night. We're currently recording this on Monday, right before the AJ Styles tribute episode of Raw. So at our next podcast episode, we'll talk about what happens there. So Adam, why don't you ask the first question?
Sure. Well, again, I know this Friday was a big one on SmackDown. What do you think the biggest storyline moments were from your perspective?
My favorite storyline movement, obviously, I think I'm going to have to go with I'll say as a total, the movement of the women's tag team division is what I'm going to focus on here. So first, in the women's elimination chamber qualifying match, we had a shock that I don't think I saw, you saw, anybody saw, where Kiana James hit a crucifix pin when Charlotte had the figure 8 locked in. Absolute shocker. I thought it was a brilliant decision. I think Kiana has a lot of talent. It puts division between her and Julia, which I want to happen. I think they need to break up and go on their own. It puts division between Charlotte and Alexa. Alexa's in the chamber, Charlotte's not. And just overall really moves the women's tag team division. Next week we have the Irresistible Forces, Lash Legend and Nia Jax versus Rio. And I think that's where they're going to end up dropping the tag team titles. I'll give you a little prediction there, and I think Rhea Ripley and Io Sky will both be in the chamber, and Rhea Ripley will pin Io Sky to win it. So, kind of just an overall explosion and just shaking things up in the women's tag team division. I think they've done a great job building it and putting a lot of emphasis on it. I would also like to see them add the Bella Twins back into there now.
Nice. Do you think there's any one standout performance just in all of SmackDown?
I think I'm going to go with Aleister Black. I mean, he did an excellent job in the promo to build hype for that impromptu main event. I think they changed it from what the rundown the Dirt Sheets had, just to make that the main event. Aleister beats Randy despite shenanigans, despite whatever you want to call it. Great, progresses Randy's story, makes Aleister look like a big bad guy. I mean, it just really improved his standpoint in the card. After that long feud with Damian Priest, he's back now, and I think overall it really improves his standing in the card, and hopefully he can be like kind of the heel who's like switches you to face, kind of what Karrion Kross was before he got released.
Gotcha. So let me ask you one last thing before we move on. What's one thing you're watching heading into Elimination Chamber?
I mean, obviously there's this big crate that just spawns in, and nobody knows what's inside. So before I give my take on that, who do you think or what do you think is inside the crates?
I'm always in left field, but I don't think there's a person in there. I think there's probably, I don't know, some kind of sign hanging from a string. They grab it, something explodes. Maybe Jericho pops out or somebody, some shenanigans with that. But I have some left field stuff I'll keep to myself for a little bit, but I don't think there's gonna be a person sitting in there. I think there's gonna be some kind of this to that to a side, swerve. So my gut is it's like some kind of hanging thing or something going on with that.
Yeah, I get what you're saying with that, but I think they're gonna go a more comedical route. Think kind of the golden egg storyline. I think looking back into the crate and looking at what wrestlers could be available, I think this is where they're gonna announce the signing of Danhausen from AEW. That
Okay.
I think he recently got released. He might still be there, but I think that's the only logical answer I could come up with because I was initially thinking Jericho, but he's still listed on the AEW roster, and usually when they release someone, he wouldn't be on the AEW roster, so that's the only reason I don't think it's going to be Chris Jericho.
Okay.
Alrighty, so now obviously our roots come from soccer cards, and we're going to start with our tribute to the community by talking about some of the people who brought us up in the market. And yeah, so how did you get started in soccer cards, and what activities did we do during COVID, pre-COVID, to keep us engaged and kind of get us a grasp in the market?
I mean, again, I kind of shared on the last episode. Being 50, my first one in the real soccer cards was like the 93, 94, 1994 World Cup, but I used to go and crack and rip tons and tons of Upper Deck. It's probably my favorite. Anybody knows me know my favorite card is the Michael Jordan honorary captains dunking a soccer ball. I actually commissioned a painting in our living room. Somehow your mom let me hang it up there in the dining room or whatever. But and then it kind of got back into breaking, actually. So I guess pre-COVID, actually, it was. I started off with soccer breakers with Cy, like most people who are old school did. George GV, and then now really I spend most of my time breaking with the guys at Golden Goals breakers. You got Roman, Jason, Emerson, the team there. They're awesome guys, and I feel like they're some of the best in the business. And then if you go back outside of the breaking piece, obviously I'm a little bit more. I joked with Aiden about what's vintage and what's not, but like the vintage Discord. For me, like the Pele Maradona vintage back there with, there's a vintage Discord with Al and Bill that I really enjoyed, got me back into it. And then one of my buddies, James Park, actually had talked about high-end cards. He bought a couple really, really, really cool high-end, some of the best Pele Messi cards in the world. And then my buddy Pete, both of our friends, Pete Hines, he's DC Deacon. He's got probably the best USA national team collection in the world, pretty good Arsenal collection as well. He took Aiden and I to a couple of the World Cup qualifying games and in the freezing cold in Columbus, and that was really, really fun. I think, and then over time, I would say Soko, I actually didn't realize I was wearing a t-shirt when we had the national couple years in Cleveland. Anthony, my buddy Scott, and I created the Soko Expo. Scott's really taken that and run with it. And then last year at National, we had Landon Motor, had made a great time with Aiden had tryouts for his varsity soccer team the next morning, stayed up all night, so that was fun, but we ended up having a good time after the bed bugs and everything. So that was and then a couple other quick experiences. Shazad with his brother, big Arsenal fans, met us at WrestleMania. I think he actually even gave you a ticket to get a picture with EO, which is probably your phone saver, I think, still is really cool. He's a great guy. I think some of the guys that are soccer guys are kind of getting into wrestling. Obviously, Jameson over Exquisite's been in it forever with a big messy guy. Some newer guys like Soccer Cards HQ, BTL, they were just getting into soccer now. Getting into wrestling now, but big soccer guys. Last couple, I would say, one of the good buddies, Rob from Seatown Sellers. He's followed all through soccer back in the day. Now got him twisting his arm into some wrestling too, which is really cool. And then my buddy Miles is probably the closest in regards to philosophies of how we view the market. Just a good person and somebody who's just true to the hobby. Most people don't understand all these monster soccer sales have been happening over the last few years. 99% of them, people are calling or texting Miles to say, is this Messi card good? Is this Messi card not good? Is this a real one? Is this the real one? Or should I get this new, shiny, whatever? And he's like, nope, flawless. Nope, these are the true cards. These are the ones. He knows the soccer card market better than I think anybody from a true investor, hobby collector. And he's been a big, um, I don't know the best way to put it, he's along the journey with us from going and viewing what we've learned and seen. He was obviously Pokemon before that, which I wasn't really into. We did soccer together, and now into wrestling, just the fun of discovering the cards, discovering the sets, finding out what's truly rare, what's not. I think Miles, and he's got his own concierge, type of business now with it for high net worth collectors who are just really want to do it the right way. He's one of the few guys we trust in the business that is just truly doing it for the right reasons. And then I guess the last thing I would say, a newer friend I met, and we'll maybe even have him on here, Pac, Diamond Card Collector. He's got the most insane Brady collection, most insane some of the WWE cards he has. He's just, over the last few months, became friends with him over just DMs and stuff like that, and just realized what a good guy he is, and just, sometimes it's good people in the hobby. And he was one that was kind of into the wrestling side of it. So that would be just a few, just to name, and we could talk some wrestling ones on your end, but like anything else you want to add to that?
No, yeah, I just want to add what you're saying with give some extra shout outs to Pete when we went to the U.S. game. I think I had in the background there, the little scarf that I would hold up in the negative degree weather in Columbus when we went. I
He
got to
was
meet.
during COVID, he'd still have a mask on, like an actual mask.
Yeah, I think I saw a picture of me meeting Darlington Nagby, it was sitting right next to us. That was super cool. He was one of my favorites. I have a jersey in the closet back there. And then obviously Shazad, when we went to WrestleMania 41 this past year in Vegas, that was just such an experience. He was super cool. He was super interested in learning about WWE, taking his brother. We had a great time in Vegas, obviously. And then I also want to give one extra shout out to just the team at Tops Fanatics for the experiences we were able to have at WWE World and Fanatics Fest. Just able to meet some cool people, able to get some stuff signed. I mean, I thought that was just really, really cool and a great experience that I think they've done a very good job of handling the WWE IP and the WWE niche, and that's allowing more people, like you said, some of the soccer guys are transitioning over into wrestling because of the way that Tops is handling it. Press releases, even the past Tops Rip Night, it really there's more WWE superstars that are getting the most attention in those posts than any other sport that you would see. I mean, I think there's one Cooper Flag post and 10 WWE posts. That's just how much they care about the niche and the IP, and they're trying to make product that's super cool and appeals and promotes and grows the niche.
Yeah, I agree. So transition a little bit more to wrestling influencers, wrestling. We went from my background a little bit more, drag you into the soccer side. Now you really got into wrestling. Who are like? How did you get in? Forget the cards for a second. How did you get so deep into wrestling? Like, obviously, when I was a kid, I was, but now it's with social media, with podcasts. Like, share with me some of the people that got you into it, hooked initially.
Yeah, so obviously I would have watched it at some point throughout my childhood. Just wasn't really like the biggest fan. I was bored on a night. I watched the Royal Rumble. That was super cool. So then I searched, who are some wrestling creators? I think I've watched Mr. Santi Zop on YouTube video every single day for the past 2-3 years. I mean, the content he does, being able to do it daily, the amount of content does, the amount of travel he does, no matter where he is, no matter what he does, he always has a daily video. And I think what he talks about and what he does is just super cool and super easy to understand. So if you're someone wanting to get into the wrestling and understand what's going on and hear an expert's opinion, I definitely recommend watching his daily videos. I mean, it's 30 minutes just during your lunch break. Put in a headphone, listen to him talk, and I think it's just super interesting. He keeps it comedic, he keeps it funny, he keeps it just very good overall. His talking points, his weekly segments, it's just a very well run show. And then if you want to support him even further, his Patreon and stuff like that, I just really recommend him for being super not giving up on wrestling. Even when it got hard, he was able to grow wrestling, and I just want to give a super shout out to him. He's my number one guy who really got me into wrestling. And then also I want to give a massive shout out to Alan Owens on Instagram, YouTube, everywhere. He travels to all the shows. He was at Fanatics Fest. I got to meet him with a picture at the SmackDown watch party at one of the parks. He's just a super duper cool guy. I was able to share him some goodies. I don't know if you guys saw on Instagrams. And
He's
then
an
I think
Arsenal man. He's an Arsenal.
yeah, he's an
supporter as
Arsenal
well.
supporter as well. Yeah, and I think just what he's doing, able to grow. I mean, the sponsorship with TickPick, able to. He wears the shirt where you're able to sign, just and people are excited to see him at shows, excited to do this. Some people just go to the shows to meet him because what he's doing for the hobby is just really good. And I think at Fanatics Fest, he's trying to get into cards. So maybe at the Fanatics Fest, if he goes again, for if you're a dealer, maybe meeting someone like him and helping him understand, I think that would help a lot. I think he could be someone coming into the wrestling card business. That would be a cool connection to know. And then on long car rides, I listen to one of two people. I would say uh, Chris Van Vliet. I mean, I really enjoy listening to his podcasts. He has any wrestler you ever wanted to hear, it's on there. I mean, they're just so down to earth. He does live podcasts at most PLEs, the big ones. He's just super chill dude, able to have hour-long conversations with any wrestler. He does 2 a week. If you just get bored on a long car ride, turn 5 of his podcasts on, and 10 hours goes like this. I mean, he just makes time go so far back. And then also, if you might be able to not share Spotify to your car, on the radio 24/7, Busted Open, Pro Wrestling Nation, kind of that bubble. I like listening to what they have to say. It's usually updated super frequently. They got Sam Roberts on there, Mark Henry, Bubba Ray Dudley. I think
You
Natalia
got me
might.
sucked into that now when it's on my car. When it's not fantasy football season, I got that busted open on.
Yeah, but there's a bunch of wrestlers on there. MJF was on there one time. I mean, it's just super entertaining stuff. So that's kind of what got me back into wrestling and what has allowed my knowledge to increase.
Nice. So, how about transitioning into wrestling cards? Because obviously one follows the other, and we're a card family. Who are some of the people that out of the gate were number one good to you, being a younger kid? And I say good to you means not take advantage, not like, teach you, say this is a good card. That's not like, I know there's whatnot, there's, Instagram, all that kind of stuff. Who are some of the people you felt like was willing to work with you and kind of help you bring you into the hobby?
Yeah, obviously you already mentioned Polk, who has
Pocket, yeah, Pocket, for
yeah,
sure.
sorry, has a big wrestling collection, big football, Mahomes, Brady. I mean, he was super cool to me when we've been talking, DMing. I think we're planning on bringing him on sooner than later, just to come talk. He's very knowledgeable, cool guy in the hobby. He was very nice to me. And then also Rydell Rips, who has one of the biggest Philadelphia Eagles collections, and then, in my opinion, the biggest WWE collection. He just has so much, whether it's flaws, whether it's... I mean, and then if you just look on his stories, he'll post just a casual Undertaker 101 auto or something that acts like it's a $20 card. I mean, but it's super, super cool. He was super nice to me. He was able to make some deals, help me understand what the hobby is. I mean, just super cool guy. Definitely recommend doing easy deals with him. Also, Breaker Mayfield on Instagram, whatnot. Everybody's on everywhere. He was super cool. When I used to like Jey Uso, we were able to get some deals done. He was able to tell me what he had, what prices. Super easy to get deals done. He was super nice in helping me understand how everything works, and just give a shout out to those two in particular. Hopefully they might be able to come on sooner than later as well. We also have Adam Gelman and Sam WWE, who over there at Main Event Wrestling Cards, they run that on Patreon. Big shout out to them. I mean, they are able to keep the hobby informed. Their blog posts are very, very good. I definitely took inspiration from them when starting this. I mean, when I get all the content, I mean, I get it from them first. It's just super entertaining, super informative, and very super easy to understand. And I just like reading and like listening to their podcast at Stacking Slabs with RBI Crew 7, who I'm also going to give a shout out to at the National. Super cool. We got a big deal done. Gave us a free T-shirts. Just super chill guys. I mean, I still wear that.
With those guys too, how much a PC, you know, a Becky Lynch or a Randy Orton, whoever it might be, you see how passionate they are, you know, obviously, and then how knowledgeable they are, but like just the ability of having a true PC, not a PC until you sell it in 2 weeks, like a PC of like, holy crap, that PC is ridiculous. And I think that's kind of takes inspiration too of like, you get a Becky Lynch card, you know who you want to, not who you need to, but who you want to send it to, or same thing with Randy Orton, that kind of thing. And that's just really cool. You don't see that very much in a hobby now.
No, yeah, for sure. Their podcast over there at Stacking Slabs Book Den, just want to make sure. Also, great wrestling podcast if you want to listen to them. And then, yeah, I think that's who I'm going to give my big.
Yeah,
I mean, there's obviously so many more we could talk about hours. It's just that's who kind of chose primary couple.
Well, and again, for me, just full disclosure, over the years, I've seen people come and go in the soccer market, so you can tell pretty quickly who. And again, I'm okay with if you want to flip cards, flip cards. You want to buy and sell, that's awesome too. You want to buy and hold for the rest of your life, that's awesome too. There's no right or wrong way to do it. Just be honest about it and don't try and be like, oh, this is my PC. I sell it to you at a discount, and then you put it on eBay 10 minutes later. I'm like, come on now. You know, like that's, again, if it's your PC and then I sold a PC, I'll never forget this, an Anthony card for like $1,000 to somebody, and like a month later it was on eBay for like 5 times what it was. He got really popular, and I reached out to him like, hey, listen, you can do whatever you want to your card. He's like, well, my dad had some medical issues. I'm like, oh, totally understand. And he was real about it. It wasn't like a BS. But like, I think that's something where people we mention, especially from on the soccer side, you on the wrestling side, people we feel like are doing this for the right reasons. And again, there's no wrong way to collect as long as you're not doing anything dishonest or doing anything that's, harmful or just taking advantage of people who don't know. And I think that's something where I saw a lot of parallels with soccer cards in the hobby years ago, now wrestling, and it leads with education. And I felt like when you wanted to do the blog, I thought that was really cool because, again, especially in the soccer, when I was CLE soccer cards, now I'm going to have a bunch of wrestling cards on it, some cool ones we're going to start slowly releasing on our Instagrams. But like, I get a million different people when there wasn't 10 of us in soccer that actually knew soccer inside and out about, hey, where can I get a Holland card? I'm like, well, you can't get them in an MLS product. And they didn't even know what I was even talking about. So it was like, and I think sometimes wrestling has some of that too. They're looking for a certain card and then they were, a legend or something. It might not even be on the checklist or whatever it might be. And they're trying to find, Panini cards this year and don't understand they lost the IP. That all leads with education, and I think and one thing I'll add to that, the Fanatics and Tops, I just think it's such a cool idea that the wrestlers are so accessible, and that's I think a big thing about Fanatics. If go to Fanatics Fest, you walk by Cody Rhodes, just walks right by. You're like, oh my god, that's Cody Rhodes. Oh my god, that's whoever. It's a little harder on the soccer world because that goes for on-card autos. It goes for everything. When you're all over the world and you're trying to get cards signed in person, for basketball, you go to All-Star Game, everybody's at the same spot. You go to wrestling, WrestleMania, people are all at the same spot, or these PLEs or whatever it is. It's just soccer is not that way. So you can't be like, oh, I'm just going to bring Messi over here, Ronaldo over here to Fanatics Fest. It's a lot harder to bring international players across the world all to one place. So I'm excited for the World Cup. Maybe there could be some surprise appearances of people and other things at Fanatics Fest, but or the National for that matter, or whatever it might be, or SoCo for that matter. But I think there's something where I think it's really cool with wrestling where, and I mentioned in the last episode, there's the walls to watch it are kind of a lot less than it is in soccer. You literally got Netflix, you got Peacock, you got whatever you want to watch it on, and you're able to see it and learn about it, and especially with social media. So, all the people you shouted out, soccer and/or wrestling, I just want to say a quick thank you. This is a community. This is not hype. This is leading with education. I think almost everybody here is open to help somebody, and that's kind of the community we're trying to build.
Yeah, for sure. Also, just before we go, I'm just gonna give our 2 card spotlight. Let me apologize for last week's disgrace, I'll call it, calling Undertaker that flawless vintage. I know a lot of you guys weren't very happy with that. So just to specify now, if I say something's vintage or old school, I mean the actual wrestler, not the card. So we're going to start off with our old school card here that I'm going to showcase here. Why don't you explain what I have up in my hand, if we can get some good lighting. There we go.
So I'm trying to see.
Alrighty, I'll just explain it if you can't see. So we got
Oh, is that Trish? Is that Stratus?
Yeah, it's Stratus Star Swatch.
Yeah. So again, we have a few of these. Obviously, the Diva, anybody knows us, Flawless and Star Swatch are like our thing to go with the John Cena, a little bit of Rock mixed in. But I think these cards, number one, look at the auto. It's almost like a mini inscription with the heart before you even can see all the multiple color. Just a great iconic picture. It's so hard to grade, Flawless in general. It's just an iconic card. The Star Swatch, especially in wrestling with the stars and the Starburst and everything like that, these are just, it checks every box across the board. And I think it's a great card, and I love everything about it.
Nice. Alrighty, yeah, I definitely agree with everything you say. Star Swatch, big thing we collect. Alrighty, next I'm gonna bring one out of the PC, straight for me. So tonight, big qualifying match. I'm wearing the shirt. We got a big Bronson Reed, and then we have, if we can focus in, his 101 Topps Chrome base Superfractor. So for me, I'd like a good old-fashioned big man, big meaty men slapping meat. That type of match where you can do the crazy his tsunamis. Right now is one of my favorite finishers. Is just 330 pounds just laying on you. Like, that looks like it's actually gonna hurt. What he did to Seth Rollins, that made me watch his feud with Braun Strowman. Right now, it's one of my top 3 favorite feuds of all time, just because of the carnage, the chaos that they cause. It's just amazing, and I think this is one of his best cards. His 2025, that's when he actually became a big time player, joined the Vision, did all the cool stuff, and this is his 2025 101 base Superfractor. So I think for him, this is just one of his biggest cards, and I look to collect Bronson Reed and Javon Evans specifically, so I brought this one out.
Very cool. Again, just using him as a big guy. I grew up in the King Kong Bundy world, and I can't imagine him getting to the top rope and jumping and splashing on somebody without actually breaking the ring, let alone the people and the wrestlers. And this is just how athletic and how unbelievable athletes these performers are. It's unreal.
Yeah. So thank you guys all for watching. We're going to keep this episode 30 minutes about, just to get you a quick community shout-out episode. And I'm going to leave you guys with this. Wrestling is bigger than one storyline, and the hobby is bigger than one card, and the community is bigger than all of us. Thank you guys for watching. This is Kayfabe and Cardboard, where storylines meet scarcity. Episode 3 will be on your way in the coming week. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys later.
Thanks.